Hello, you're watching TelecomTV. We are at the SDN World Congress 2016 here in The Hague in the Netherlands, and I'm talking with Sasa Nijemcevic, who is Vice President and General Manager Network and Service Management in the IP Optical Networks division of Nokia. Sasa, welcome.
Thank you, Martin. Pleasure to be here.
Let's begin with this. As operators strive to thrive, as they say, in the era of cloud networks, where both the networks themselves and network services are consumed on demand, what, in your opinion, are the biggest impediments to profitability with that model?
Well, Martin, for many years, one of the biggest challenges for delivering on-demand services in the industry has been the very detailed and complex nature of integration of OSSs and fulfillment systems into the network, in particular through a series of proprietary object models, protocols, APIs, and that has made a service delivery very complex and very slow and very inefficient. At the same time, the networks of today are not really keeping up very well with the very increasing traffic demand and, more importantly, dynamic nature of this demand. And finally, the operations at our customers are very disjoint, often siloed across IP and optical domains, sometimes even different departments, engineering, planning, operations. And there is an increased need to pull those together and to give them a set of tools that can help them look at the network more holistically.
And I presume then, Sasa, that carrier SDN can address some, if not all, of these problems and issues.
Well, certainly, carrier SDN does offer help in terms of tools and technologies in some of these areas. For example, in terms of service delivery and automations of service delivery, there is a set of open, abstracted APIs that help integration into the network, help the applications that consume the network consume it in a much more simpler way. The optimization algorithms that carrier SDN solutions offer are more real-time, they're more centralized, and they're more service-aware and offer the ability to deal with the unpredictable traffic demands. And finally, the operational scope of carrier SDN solutions, some of them at least, like the network services platform from Nokia, are multi-vendor, they're multi-layer across IP and optical domains, and they're dealing with physical and virtual aspects as well.
Okay, thank you. So given that, can providers who embrace this sort of holistic approach to carrier SDN actually increase their profitability then? Because that's where we started. The question was, if you remember, the impediments to profitability. So we see the solution to that. So how do they actually increase the bottom line?
Well, in the end, they're almost there, but not quite yet. Mm-hmm. There's one ingredient missing. And this is the topic that has largely been absent from the conversations about SDN, and that it's the topic of assurance. Like we've seen with any type of service delivery over the years, across any technology, assurance plays a key role in operationalization, really, of that technology, of those tools, right? The people who build the networks and operate the networks, they're the best to assess what is needed to really properly operationalize it. And really, it's the set of assurance tools, like monitoring tools, troubleshooting tools, being able to run OEM tests, being able to provide service supervision, network supervision, that are needed as part of the SDN offering. So the vendors, like us, need to bring those capabilities into SDN solution. And then furthermore, they need to give the operators the ability to provide more dynamic assurance, what we refer to as closed-loop assurance. Those are the capabilities to trigger action in the network through more dynamic, policy-based, analytics-based triggers, using SDN solutions to deliver those actions in the network.
Why the emphasis now on assurance when it wasn't there before? Is it because SDN was a new technology, it was being proven theoretically and in the laboratory and then so on, and when you come to actual deployment in a commercial environment, this suddenly becomes a much more pressing issue?
You're absolutely right. This is typically the technology cycle, right? Mm-hmm. Initially, in the early stages, the focus is on service delivery, and much like we've seen in data center SDN as well, where the focus has always initially been on delivery, but very soon after, as soon as the projects went from early evaluations, lab trials into commercialization, the topic of assurance becomes very, really relevant. Same is happening in the carrier SDN space.
So given that, and now given the focus, the spotlight is on assurance, what's the next step forward for the commercialization of SDN in service provider networks?
Well, the next step, as I said, beyond bringing the traditional assurance capabilities to carrier SDN is enhancement of closed-loop assurance use case. And we've seen some with our Nokia engagements with our customers already taking place.
Okay, Sasha, so can you then give us some couple of real-life examples of how your customers are using assurance with carrier SDN, and again with specific reference to closed-loop assurance?
Yes, there are definitely more and more of our customers who are not only using assurance to operationalize the SDN deployments, but they're also using dynamic assurance or closed-loop assurance to trigger action in a network. For example, one really large Tier 1 service provider in Southeast Asia is using monitoring and analytics of their link congestions. They're looking at their links, congestion use cases, and they're triggering through policy-based systems, they're triggering action, resizing the links, adding optical capacity to really respond to dynamic traffic demands. In another case, in China, we are seeing that analytics is being used to trigger flow redirection and therefore proactively avoid degradation of quality of service by monitoring the congestion, by directing flows to the less congested pipes using the SDN solution in combination with the dynamic assurance capabilities.
So Sasha, the spotlight has been on assurance and is on assurance, but the commercial deployment of SDN in carrier networks continues apace. Looking forward, say 12 months, what do you think the further developments and next developments will be?
Well, I do expect that now, with all these ingredients in place, with automation of services delivery, with optimization and really service-aware real-time optimization of the networks across IP and optical, across physical and virtual and multi-vendor environments, and added to that with multi-vendor, multi-layer assurance, dynamic assurance capabilities, we now have all the ingredients to really see the massive adoption, or at least a higher pace adoption of carrier SDN technologies worldwide.
So things are really moving ahead now. Sasa Nijemcevic, thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure.